Good evening, everyone. This is Mike. It's time for Movies from A to Z. Or actually, yesterday was time for Movies from A to Z, but I'm a day late. Sorry about that. So, just like James and Ian, I didn't have a lot of movies that started with the letter X, which is the letter we're doing today. But I do have X, The Man with the X-Ray Eyes, which is an American international picture from 1963, produced and directed by Roger Corman, starring Ray Milland as a doctor named Dr. Xavier. And he is experimenting with increasing X-ray vision in humans. And of course, he's starting out by doing it with monkeys, right? So he's developed this serum, and he's administering with eye drops into this poor defenseless monkey. And the monkey is able to see different colors through different barriers. So success, right? Unfortunately, after the monkey has seen all these wonderful things, he curls up and dies. And does this, well, you would think the doctor might wonder about what he's doing and maybe he shouldn't do it. No, mad scientists never do. Of course, Dr. Xavier doesn't start out as a mad scientist, but as he starts experimenting on himself, not only does he develop this incredible vision, but it starts affecting his brain as well. So as things go on in the story, at first it's kind of a good thing because he is able to, he's a surgeon, he is able to diagnose the illness of a young girl who was suffering from a heart problem, and they're about to do surgery on her. He's realizing that if they do the surgery the way they have diagnosed it, the little girl will die. So in the middle of the operation where he is supposed to be assisting another doctor played by John Hoyt, he takes over and saves the little girl's life. Well, that does not sit well with the hospital administration. They threaten to arrest him for malpractice. They stop funding his research into X-ray vision, and he goes a little crazy. And he ends up accidentally killing a friend of his, another doctor played by Harold J. Stone. Another doctor that he is involved with romantically, played by Diana Vanderbliss, tells him you need to run away, just escape, it was an accident, just go. So he does, and the story takes us into some very strange directions after that. He ends up, of all places, working in a carnival sideshow, calling himself, what is it, Mr. Mentallo or something, the Great Mentallo, and wearing this turban that's covering his face with a fake eyeball in front of it, and of course he can see into people's pockets and their purses and all this sort of thing and tell them everything about themselves. And he's working for a shyster named, well, what is his name? I don't remember. He's played by Don Rickles. Don Rickles is a comedian who gives a very interesting dramatic performance in this film, actually very impressive. And this shyster decides to exploit Mentallo in every way possible. So the movie takes us in, as I said, some very strange directions. It's not a bad film. Don't listen to Wolf Kratz. Don't pay attention to what he says. It's a pretty good film. It has a good idea, and I think that it takes the premise maybe not in ways that are all that fascinating. It's kind of a laid-back kind of a film. Certainly not a horror film, but it's more of a science fiction-ish film, I guess, you know. Good performance by Ray Milland. Everybody else is very good, and certainly, as I said, Don Rickles is terrific. Very, very surprisingly good. It's in color. It has some interesting special effects when we see through Dr. Xavier's eyes, and we can see all the weird colors and the combinations, and some of it's kind of funny. For example, when he goes to a party and he can see through everybody's clothes, that's kind of fun. He can see through his lady friend's clothes. She doesn't know that, but he's enjoying himself. And let's see, there are some interesting faces that turn up in this film. A couple of Roger Corman regulars, Dick Miller and Jonathan Hayes, both of whom have been in other Corman films, especially Dick Miller. He was in films like Not of This Earth and It Conquered the World. He was the star of, what's that? Oh, A Bucket of Blood, one of Corman's best films. Jonathan Hayes is also in it. They played two hecklers who were in the audience when Mr. Mentallo was up there doing his thing. They're saying, we don't believe you. So Jonathan Hayes is the other guy. He was the star of Little Shop of Horrors, and he played in a few other Corman films as well. So it's kind of nice to see them. Let's see, what else I want to say about this? Probably nothing at all. Raymond Land is very good. He had already worked for Roger Corman in The Premature Burial, and I think he did a couple of other things too. But yeah, I wouldn't say this is one of the best American international films of the early 60s, but you know, it has some good things going on. Roger Corman brings back some of his regular crew. He has Floyd Crosby doing the cinematography. He has Daniel Haller doing the art direction and set design, and Les Baxter does the music. So it's not a bad film. I think you might like it. Wolfgrats, give it another watch. Come on. So I guess that's all I want to say, and I have a pizza to take out of the oven, so I'll let you go now. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome. We'll be back next week with letter Y. Okay.